What's up? Welcome back to Joygasm, where we talk about video games, movies, and that's right, pop culture. I'm Ross Xbox Live Toaster 360, and with me is my Fortfig Newton Steve Xbox Live Stevevich, as we tomfoolery our way through episode 58, today, February 9th. 2018. To get the most out of Joygasm, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Just do a search for Joygasm TV. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.com/JoygasmTV. Also, for exclusive access and some sweet, tasty goodies, check us out at Patreon.com/Joygasm. And no matter which platform you use to enjoy the show, please drop us a subscription, thumbs up, or a review. It helps us build awareness, which we appreciate very much. We have so many events that have transpired over this past week, and I, for one, am giddy to blab about each and every one of them. Gaming news includes Yuji Naka leaving Sega and joining another gaming studio, the Xbox Game Pass, Overwatch Year of the Dog, Anthem getting delayed, Red Dead Redemption 2 also getting delayed, and Gigantic getting shut down, unfortunately. Movie news includes the Deadpool 2 trailer, the Han Solo movie trailer, the Venom teaser trailer, and, of course, the Mission Impossible Fallout trailer. And we have some technology news in the form of SpaceX with their most recent launch. Our topic of the day is the Super Bowl commercials. But first things first, Steve, what up? Touchdown.
It's good. The laces were out. They're out. All right, it's good. Ross, I'm doing okay. We got the bowl of the super finished up, and we got the Olympics going on.
I know.
A lot of gaming stuff.
This week has just been chock full of stuff.
Chock full of stuff indeed.
Stuffings. Stocking stuffing, turkey stuffing.
Not quite, Ross.
No.
That stuffing's gone stale by now.
So, were you surprised that the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
I was rooting for the Eagles. I wasn't that surprised. I thought, you know what, Tom Brady, he's got his day. You know, it's time to pass the torch. It's time for somebody else to win the Super Bowl. You know, it can't always be the Patriots.
Yeah, I was not sure what was going to happen just because the Patriots have won 5 Super Bowls, and seeing them come out there again, I thought, well, I guess there's a very good chance they could win number 6. But actually, the Super Bowl itself really was a pretty close match throughout the whole entire game. I mean, there really wasn't that many punts that took place, and both teams were just really fighting for it, and it just so happens that the Philadelphia Eagles won. So, of course, the lovely folks from the Philly area have a lot to celebrate about.
I'd say so, Russ. And the Eagles never really, I don't know, they kept their energy level high throughout the entire game, which I thought was good. You never really saw them kind of die down and try and, gather up some more oomph towards the end. They just kind of kept it straight whole entire game. So kudos for them.
They did indeed.
Indeed. It was funny that we were talking about kickoffs because there were some snafus during the kicks, Ross.
There was one I remember in particular. I think they were trying to kick a field goal, and that one guy was supposed to his one job is
snap,
to catch the football and put the laces out.
Yeah.
Ended up really fumbling that one, and that was not literally fumbling it, but had a bad case of the butterfingers.
Indeed.
Were there other ones you were thinking of?
Nope. Well, there's a few. There was a couple that they missed. I thought, man, someone's going to get a little chewing of sorts.
A little schlacking.
Yeah. Everybody look at him, point, stare, and curse. I bet there was some off-colored locker room talk that day. Yeah.
Probably just a little bit. Just a little teensy-weensy bit.
Yeah, you wonder if they still do... Remember back in the day? I don't know if maybe we were watching the Disney Channel. Then we don't have the Disney Channel, so we don't see it anymore. But they used to go up to the winner of the Super Bowl and go, "Hey, you just won the Super Bowl. Where are you going now?
What are you going to do next?
What are you going to do next?" Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that promotion or not. That is a good question. That's a good pregunta. Bueno pregunta, Stilovich.
Yeah, there you go. Senor Espanol over here.
Yeah, I try and work on it whenever I can.
Yeah, like last week.
Exactly. Yes.
I have a pregunta. Like, another weto over here.
So what else have you been up to, Steve?
Well, Ross, let's see here.
Have you been playing anything, watching anything?
I watched the movie 33.
I have not heard of that.
I know you haven't. It was a movie starring Antonio Banderas.
Oh, I like it already.
So
Me gusta.
this movie was based actually on a real life event where these miners,
Miners, not miners.
where were they? Oh, good grief! It wasn't Brazil. I got to find it out again. But anyway, they were mining, and
You don't say.
and the miners were telling the corporation, look, this we've been mining this hill to death, and this mine is old and it's not safe, and yada yada yada. And the corporation just said, screw it, keep on going and everything's fine. And sure enough, the miners were right, and they got trapped in there for like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
A long time. So what happened is their government actually really stepped up. And they were able to save everybody, basically. There were 33 dudes down there, and everybody lived.
Jeez.
And to actually get down to where they were, it took them like a very, very long... They were trapped in there for like the majority of the year.
You said 3 months, though, right?
They were down there for... Yeah, it was about 3 months. But it took longer to actually drill down there. So they had to like get food and water and supplies down there to them so they can... have them survive while they figured out how to actually get them out. So it took a lot longer than that. But anyway, true life event, and movie wasn't bad, Russ.
Yeah, it sounds like it was kind of intense.
Let's see. Oh, and then I started watching, was it Homeland?
So are you starting like at season 1?
Brand spanking, Russ.
How far are you?
I'm just 2 episodes in.
So what is your initial impression?
I'm curious. I haven't made up my mind yet. The story is definitely different. I mean, there's this military team who gets a POW back, and everyone thinks he's a hero for coming back. He's been dead for they assumed dead for 5 years.
Yeah.
And so he comes back, and everyone wants to, parade him around and say, he's a hero. He's held out this long, and and something's still not quite right about him. And people are like, should we trust him or should we not trust him? What should we do? And so, the story is basically starting to unfold with that. I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious. It's got the dude, I forgot his name, but he was Lieutenant Winters from Band of Brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
So
I forgot the actual actor's name, but he's the redheaded guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, Band of Brothers. This is so good.
Oh,
this is so good.
It's a work of art, that one.
Indeed.
It's
beautiful. That was another Spielberg and Hanks. Oh, yeah, dynamic duo right there. So other than that, I've been trying to get a loot box from Overwatch every single day. And Total Mayhem is back, which is cool because it's
you've always liked Total
chaos.
Mayhem.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Especially playing Winston. I love playing Winston with Total Mayhem specifically. So that's been incredible. Plus, you get a lot more experience. You get almost twice as much experience.
Do you now?
But I'm still anxiously awaiting Capture the Flag's return there, Russ.
Well, with the new thing that we're going to be talking about in just a bit, I think you may just get your wish.
Nice. So what about you, Rusty Poo?
Well, let's see. I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the technology segment, but I had a very fun time watching the SpaceX launch on this past Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that or not?
I did not watch it. No, I just was reading about how Mr. Musk put his roadster.
He has
on there.
quite the strong musk.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was super cool. We'll talk more about that later, but
The Musk named Elon.
that's right. The essence of Musk.
The Musk of Musk.
You know you must Elon your Musk.
Okay. That's good, Russ.
We did also play some Overwatch, which was cool because we were getting more into that competitive mode. We got a few more of the green check marks as a result, which is great. I am curious to see what we're going to get as a result. Like once we pass that part,
We won't get anything.
nothing,
We'll get some
no copper, no silver.
Well, okay, well, it'll give us a copper or silver, but that's about it. It'll give us some competitive points to add to the bank.
Yeah.
But that's it, Russ.
Well, did they didn't strip the whole ability to be able to like make your way up the ranks, right?
You could still go up the ranks, but I mean, you have to go beyond those 10 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just This is just the initial placement, but then you can continue to work your way up.
Right, Russ. I think you get a little spray too.
Oh, I like sprays. Oh. I was also playing Dishonored 2, made my way a little bit farther. The game is definitely ratcheting up in the difficulty department, so
Ratcheting or hatcheting?
ratcheting, total ratcheting. And other than that, I actually have. This is kind of funny. I saw that I believe it's called Shadow of the Colossus game came out. That's a remaster for PS4.
Yeah.
I have not bought the game, but I definitely want to get it. IGN gave it a 9.7 out of 10.
That they did, Russ. That they did.
That is quite the review / rating. And I never played the original. The original, I guess, came out for the PS2 way back in the day.
Yeah.
Did you ever play it?
Nope.
Okay.
Very foggy game, though, I've seen.
Very foggy?
Foggy.
Well,
yes.
I think they actually removed a lot of the fog from the PS2 version because they kind of used that as...
I believe they brought the sun out.
Yeah. I believe it is no longer partly cloudy. But...
The chance of showers.
Yeah. I was looking at the side-by-side comparisons, and they did just a terrific job. I mean, to me, that is what a remastered game should be. Is you look at it, and it's not just, we just kind of up-res some textures and that sort of thing. It's like, yeah.
Up-res some textures, smooth out some lines.
What do I got there?
$60. Quick side coin.
But this one actually, I mean, you look at it, and you're just really, I mean, you can't help but marvel at the visuals. You're just like, wow, this looks like a PS4 title, even though it's based on this older game from the PS2 days. So anyway, I thought it was worthy of mention because I have checked out quite a bit of the trailers and some of the interviews they've done and that sort of thing. And so I will be purchasing that game. And I actually, both Big Baby Moose and our good old friend Brad have played that game, and they speak very highly of it. So,
Well, Brad speaks highly of pretty much every game out there.
well,
It's probably because he owns pretty much every game out there.
he can be picky at times. There are certain games that did not meet his expectations, but you know, he's a glass half full kind of guy. You know,
Right.
I say before we move any further, we should announce who the winner is for the round 3 of the SNES Classic Mini giveaway.
Well,
Steve, who won?
We've been making him wait long enough, Russell. Let's do it. So, can I get a roll of the dice, please, or a drum roll, or some kind of roll?
I don't know. What do I have here?
Why don't you stop, drop, and roll?
Something like, what does this one sound like? Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like a roll.
I'm rolling in my chair.
What?
Who won, Steve? Hurry up.
Yeah, okay. I was waiting for the beat to drop, okay? Man, now you just totally ruined my timing. Okay, so, we have Mike Heggs. Not Mike Heggs, but Mike Heggs.
Gotcha.
Mike Heggs from New York. Michael Heggs, Switzer Hanzo. So, thank you for listening, good sir, and thank you for being part of the Joygasm family. You won yourself a Super Nintendo Classic Mini with the wireless controller and the Super Duper Mega Cooper Super Power art catalog, production catalog, and
Playing with superpower.
and this was the best one out of the three, Russ. Like we've all been saying, this is the one I lost sleep over and stood in the rain to get, just for you, Mike.
So what exactly does Mike need to do in order to claim
Thank you for
his
reminding
prize?
me. I was brought back to the time I was standing out there making friends. So anyway, Mr. Mike, what you want to do is you want to send us a direct message over Twitter to claim your prize, tell us your YouTube handle, and tell us where you want us to send the goods.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And let's hope he's still listening to us so we don't have to do this another 3 times, you know?
Well, and the other thing, too, is I think we can give Mike a week to get back to us. I think that's generous enough. And if Mike does not get back to us on Twitter with the YouTube handle that he has and everything so we can cross-reference it, then he is going to forfeit the prize, and we will be forced to do another redraw. So
That is a good disclaimer there, Russ.
I'm full of those types of disclaimers.
Plenty of Twitter followers out there chomping at the bit.
Indeed. Now, since we've gotten over that little chestnut, I do believe we need to segue into some Overwatch League. Da 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 da.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Cheers,
Winston reporting.
Yes, sir.
Justice reigns from above!
Oh my goodness.
Junkrat primed and ready.
Lucio coming at you.
Form up on the payload. Move it out.
Nerf this!
Come out and face me.
I am ready to revive you.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I wonder how many times Hanzo, or the voice actor for Hanzo, had to do that. Like, okay, we need you to just say that with more girth, more umph. Okay, here it is again. No, make it poppy this time, though, okay? I want it to pop.
Can we please get him another glass of water?
Oh, my goodness.
So let us take a little look-see here at the Overwatch League. We are actually already into week 5, which is pretty impressive, all things considered.
I'll say.
It just seems like just the other day we got started on this, but
Seems like just the other week.
just the other week, exactly. So one of the things that I think is most impressive is when I look at the standings, New York Excelsior has overtaken London Spitfire as the top dog with a 8 wins, 1 loss standing. That's pretty impressive.
The top woof.
Yes. And Seoul Dynasty, they're still hanging on in 3rd place, so
Yeah, but they've dropped. Well, they haven't dropped, but I mean, everyone has kind of come even with them, I should say.
yeah. Now, and your Houston Outlaws, Steve.
I was just about to say that.
They're kind of flying under the radar. They are getting better and better. They're at 4th place. Do you remember where they were last week?
I thought I took a screenshot of it, but I don't think I did, Russ.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. I think that they have slowly but surely been making their way up the ranks. And, yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see what happens
Indeed.
next week because they may enter the top
right.
3 spots. You never know.
Speaking of standings, actually, well, this reminded me the other day I was walking to get some lunch outside the office, and
As opposed to inside the office.
and so I was waiting across the street, and I saw some folks kind of wander around behind me, and I was getting kind of paranoid because I'm always kind of paranoid, like, don't get in my bubble. So I kind of peeked out of the corner of my eye, and the dude was wearing a Dallas Fuel like
You're kidding.
jersey kind of shirt. Yeah. So I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I gave him like a smile and a nod. And he gave me a smile, and I was like, yeah.
A little bit of a brotacular moment.
Then I was hungry, so I just crossed the street. I probably should have made some conversation with him, but
You should have.
I was hungry, Russ.
Man, that was a squandered opportunity right there, Steve. You should
I
have taken him out to lunch.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
My conscience hasn't let me forgive myself for it.
Well, my teams, the San Francisco Shock and the Dallas Fuel, are pretty dismal in the standings. You know, the San Francisco Shock is in 9th place. Dallas Fuel is in 10th place. Although Dallas Fuel does have 3 wins under their belt, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, so does San Francisco. They both have 3 wins and 7 losses. Don't know what to make of that, but we'll see how it goes as they progress.
Indeed.
But good for you, though. Houston Outlaws, man. Now, in other Overwatch news, we might as well just get into it while we are chatting about this particular topic. They have Year of the Dog, which is official now. It has come out. We were able to look at some of the skins. Apparently, they have some new sprays and some, I think, some highlight intros too, if I'm not mistaken. But I have not seen them yet.
Well, Russ, soon to come. I see it in your near future.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Are there any skins that have piqued your interest, whether it be from the new cropping or from last year?
I like the new Genji skin. Not so much stuff from last year. Maybe Mercies, maybe Bastions.
Okay.
Maybe
I did
Bastion.
get Bastion from last year. Is that the one you're referring to? Or is this a different one?
Could be the one you got. Russ. I'm not sure which one you got, so I don't know.
I got the one from last year.
Well, I thought you got the one from Diva, but I don't remember. Because you never play Bastion anymore.
I got that
and
one
you
too.
never even select that costume, so I don't even know about it.
Well, you know, perhaps from now until March 6th, I will update all of my characters to the Chinese New Year skins that I do possess.
You know what would be cool? I want them to bring out more like voice stuff. Like that they say normally, not that you can choose, because of course you can choose more lines to say, but sometimes they come out with other stuff relating to the skin you chose. I want more of that, Rose. I know I ask a lot, but that'd be cool.
I look forward to playing more. Actually, this weekend I hope to have some time to be able to play with you. Get some more of that good old Overwatch playing.
See, I was excited. I had to bang my microphone.
I saw that. I realized you temporarily lose voluntary control of your appendages.
It's all that capture the flag thoughts, Russ.
I'm pretty pumped, and I'm actually really curious to check out the new map. Hopefully, it will be a memorable one.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they don't just have the capture the flag always be a part of their dashboard. They could easily fit that in, like just do a little redesign of the layout.
Speaking of new map, I was playing Deathmatch the other day.
Yeah.
And they actually included Junkertown in Deathmatch. Actually, no.
What?
It wasn't Junkertown. No, it was Eichenwalde. Eichenwald.
Really?
Yeah, we had and it was the second. Like if you're pushing the payload, it was that second area.
Yeah.
Yeah. All that was basically the deathmatch area.
What will they think of next?
I don't know.
I know what I'm going to think of next.
What's that, Russ?
Gaming news. Sonic the Hedgehog creator joins Square Enix.
Aw, snap.
Yuji Naka, one of 3 creators on Sonic the Hedgehog, made a big announcement on his Twitter account. Just a quick note to let you know, I joined Square Enix in January. I'm joining game development as before and strive to develop games at Square Enix. I aim to develop an enjoyable game. Please look forward to it, end quote. Other games he's worked on include Alex Kidd in Miracle World, the Phantasy Stars series, Choo Choo Rocket, one of my personal faves, and Nights into Dreams.
Another one of your personal faves.
I'm a little surprised by that. You know, it's just him being one of those almost the OGs of the Sega Genesis world. It's pretty cool. We'll have to see what happens. I'm very curious to see like what he's able to come up with the talented folks at Square Enix. The Xbox Game Pass now supports 100 games for $10 a month, which equals to about 2 game purchases a year. Subscribers will have access to every first-party title for Xbox. That's a pretty big deal. There's a lot.
It's quite a bit, Russ.
You know, I have quite a few of the first-party titles, but I will be the first to admit I do not own all of them, and I think I may have to just plunk down the $10 a month. I think this is a really great opportunity, especially for certain titles like Sea of Thieves that are coming out, that sort of thing. Be interesting to see. Also, for the Xbox One, there's a new dashboard update that's been announced. Microsoft has announced the next Xbox One dashboard, and it includes a Do Not Disturb mode, additional functionality for the guide, and more inactivity shutdown options. The update will add the next achievement functionality to the guide, which makes it faster and easier to monitor the closest achievements across all owned games. Filters to sort between the closest, most common rare, most rare, and highest gamer score rewarded will be available. Also added to the guide are mini game hubs, which will allow players to access extra content, looking for group, and see what friends are up to without leaving their own games. For players that want to fly under the radar or just need to unwind alone for a while, a Do Not Disturb online status will be added, which will suppress notifications. I don't know. I kind of like my notifications, though.
I could see it both ways.
Also included in the update are changes to make it easier to see comments on community posts, as well as an inactivity shutdown option for 2, 3, 4, and 5 hours, which will be added to the already existing 1 and 6 hour options. So quite a few things going on here, and I'm still waiting personally with bated breath for the updated Xbox avatars. I want my avatars back. I want that sense of community.
I thought that was going to come sooner than later, but apparently I'm wrong.
It got pushed back by a little bit.
Indeed.
Now, this is a little bit of a bummer here, but Gigantic shutting down in July gets final update. Did I ever show you Gigantic?
I think you asked me that like the episode before last, and no.
It was a free-to-play first-party title that Microsoft did, and it's... The premise of it is actually, it has kind of an original take on things, but for whatever reason, they just couldn't find that hook, that secret sauce that gets people coming back for more. And it seems to have caught up with them because Gigantic is shutting down July 31st. And the January content update will be the game's last. Excuse me. Today it was announced the game's servers will go offline at the end of July. Until then, all heroes will be free as purchases of rubies and hero packs have been disabled. Players will still be awarded in-game currency, and shop items will be available at discounted prices until the servers go offline. For me, when I was playing that game, the production values were actually AAA across the board. I mean, I loved all the character designs, the art direction of the game, the animations. I think that there was just something about the game mode and game types that just it didn't make it feel complete enough. Like it didn't, I don't know, allure me in a way that would compel me to come back and keep playing over and over. Like, I actually went back to the game for the first time in months, to I would say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I actually just put it back in again just real quick, and again, I liked what I saw, but it always felt to me as kind of like a game demo and not a full-fledged title. So, anyway.
No.
Moving on to Anthem. Now, I know this is a game that both Steve and I are very, 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 very excited for. It's been delayed until early 2019, and as far as I'm concerned, they can take as much time as they want. But I think both EA and BioWare are feeling the pressure for delivering a game that's going to be awesome. I think it's on multiple fronts. One is just, I don't think that they realized how much of a fan reaction they would have had from this past E3, and clearly they just hit a grand slam because everybody wants to see what Anthem's going to be like. But I also think too, both EA and BioWare are still reeling from kind of the failure of the latest Mass Effect game with Andromeda. And EA too, even with Star Wars Battlefront, I was looking in the news and they actually missed their financial markings with that title too. They were expecting to make $10 million off it and they made $9 million. So it's a bit. Actually, you know what? I don't know if it was $9 million or 9 million units.
I think it was 9 million units. I think that because what I read was that they were really off the mark, and they even brought back the loot boxes to try and generate some more income because they're way off.
I think you're right. So, any comments on the Anthem delay?
I don't want them to bring. I hope they do not make us wait this long. Think it's going to be just as good as we all hope it's going to be, and then they stab us with microtransactions. At the last minute, like, okay, we made you wait. Isn't it awesome? Yes. Oh, by the way, microtransactions.
I know. I'm really hoping that they're not going to make the same mistake, but you never know.
One can only hope, Ross.
And finally, also Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed. It's been pushed back from its initial spring release frame. But the good news is that it actually has like an official like release date, not just a time frame, but a date. October 26th of this year is now the final release date.
As you might remember, Russ, a couple episodes ago, I was really looking forward to. When we were talking about the games that we were looking forward to coming out this year. Mm-hmm. That announcement was big for me.
It was big for me too. Very big.
And they did release a couple of more screenshots too, by the way.
I am very much looking forward to that game.
Looks good.
Red Dead Redemption is one of my all-time favorite games. It was so flawless.
Oh yeah.
Games.
And story was incredible too.
Oh, the story was incredible. The character that you played was awesome. Just the relationships that you created and had falling outs with and that sort of thing. Even something as simple as just, I loved being able to like lasso somebody and drag them behind your horse and they're like, oh,
I remember speaking to a buddy of mine about it after I had completed the game, and they said, oh, well, at the end of the game, you just do this. I'm like, there's a little bit extra at the end. And they go, what, really? And I go, yeah. And so I went over to his house, and he had to, put his kids to bed and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, the kiddos can't see what happens at the end of the game. Like,
right.
It's not suitable. So then he plays it, and he's just looking at me like wide-eyed, going, I can't believe it's been this long. I mean, he had the game for quite a few months and thought that was the end of what was happening. And so then he saw that, and he goes, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was crazy good. That was stupid good. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad he went back and he finished it properly.
Yeah.
All right, we got some movie news here. It's actually going to be a little quick here. This week, we had 4 pretty interesting trailers drop, and I just figured it'd be fun to go down each one. First of all, Deadpool 2. Mm-hmm. What'd you think of the trailer?
Very Deadpool fashion, which is good. Just like it was, just like the teasers we've been seeing so far, and just like the Deadpool 1 trailer. So, looking good. I was wondering what they were going to do with Cable. And,
dude, Cable looks legit.
Yeah. So I'm really curious about this story.
Domino's in there too. I don't know. She was really briefly shown, but she is in there. And I just love how, once again, just the whole Deadpool thing of showing Cable's green screen arm. It was not green screen, but he's wearing the thing that's basically for comping out for the CG arm. I loved how they made that like the cornerstone of the whole trailer. Like it just fits Deadpool so well.
And they even in the beginning when they were talking about the mustache and everything with like a staff to DC.
That was so good.
That was brilliant. But I like how Cable. I remember watching X-Men cartoon back in the day, and they always used to make his eye flash, like, and just make this weird kind of sound with it. I'm glad they really kind of focused on his eye a bit.
Yeah. The second film that was teased was the Han Solo Star Wars story trailer. What did you think of that one?
It looked like a hip Star Wars. I know it's going to be separate than the usual saga, so I might give it a pass for its playfulness.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting. Again, I don't want them to be too playful with it. They can have fun, but I don't want them to poke too much fun at themselves and make it stupid funny. You know? I mean, a lot of these characters are beloved, and they want to see them look good and honored, and that's what I'm hoping they continue to do with the film.
Yeah. I thought when I watched the movie, not the movie, but the movie trailer, I think that the vistas that they have are like phenomenal. Like I loved all of the background plates. I loved seeing more of the Galactic Empire and more of its kind of like quasi earlier state of things. I thought the actor who is playing Lando looks just like a younger Lando.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Lando in there.
My main concern is the actor who plays Han Solo.
Right.
Like, he kind of looks like Harrison Ford, but the biggest thing for me is his voice is so not like Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford has just that nice,
gruff, kind of masculine.
Yeah, like that bass tone.
Marlboro Man kind of. Yeah.
And so I don't know, like that is the one concern I have. But everything else I saw, I was like, okay, well, I mean, at least from a marketing standpoint, I've peaked, I've got my interest peaked. I'll just say it, that way. But now the third film that came out with a trailer, Venom. We finally got to see a teaser trailer for Venom. What'd you think of that one?
That one gave me goosebumps. I think that the trailer was very well put together, very well done, with Tom Hardy speaking about all these things, and the last little bit of it is like, your inner demons or something like that. I'm glad they didn't show too much of the movie. I think so. Trailers should give you a taste. They shouldn't give you a huge entire gulp or a half the bottle. They need to give you a taste, so you're like, I want some more.
Right.
So I did like the trailer. I did post up these trailers, by the way, on our Facebook page, or else, just so you know.
Excellent work, Steven.
Thank you. But I could watch that one. I've watched it a few times, but I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good year.
Everything I've seen from that, whether it's just a headline or pictures, I even saw the movie poster. I don't know if you saw the teaser trailer poster that they released around the same time or not.
I know they had one out. I forgot if
It's real simple.
Yeah.
It's just a black poster, but it has like the Venom eyes that are kind of being emerged through the darkness. I really did love the trailer as well. I loved how they didn't actually show anything that's like Venom related, but they just focused on Tom Hardy. And Tom Hardy is just such a terrific actor, and I just him like writhing and like shaking uncontrollably at the end of the trailer. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm on. I'm totally on board. This is great.
It's funny, there's a lot of like right over the shoulder shots of Tom Hardy.
Right.
And it's funny, like Tom Hardy has like a signature walk. I don't know. I noticed it with him more than I noticed it with everybody else. But right when I saw him walk, I'm like, yep, Tom Hardy. And then he turns around like, ah.
He really is more of a method character actor than I gave him credit for earlier in his career. Like just if you think of the different characters he's played, whether it's in Dunkirk or he's playing Bane in Batman, or even the one that I haven't seen yet, but he plays I always forget the name, but it's like he plays that wrestler or boxer or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but very, very different. Also, when he's in Inception, plays a different character there as well.
I think that was the first time I saw him.
I think so for me too. Now, the fourth film that got a teaser trailer this week was Mission Impossible Fallout. I, for one, I'm interested in seeing it. I mean, the whole trailer was so well put together and edited. I know you and I talked a little bit about how they may have almost shown too much.
Right.
However, I'm sold. Personally, I've been a big fan of the Mission Impossible movies that have come out. Like this whole kind of reboot that they've done after, I think it was like after Mission Impossible 3, like when they started going down this new direction, especially with Bad Robot at the helm. I've really liked it a lot. It's been a nice kind of trade-off from James Bond. You know how Daniel Craig's been doing like his James Bond shtick,
right?
And that's been most of those movies have been really well done as well. But the Mission Impossible series has always been kind of like this is a different take on like the espionage, spy thriller type stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had a Mission Impossible in a little while. Definitely want to see it on IMAX. There's a lot of IMAX-y viewpoints and scenes and whatnot. But I hope they don't. What happened before with it was they were bringing out too many Mission Impossibles. It was like, Ethan Hawke, not Ethan Hawke, but I mean Ethan, and it is
Ethan Hunt.
Hunt, thank you, Hawke. So
a hawk likes to hunt.
Hey, parallels.
Yeah.
So it was the same kind of thing again and again and again and again. So they had to kind of up the ante, but I hope it's still a good story with all the good action. So does Tom Cruise even age?
That is a very good question because he really just looks fabulous.
You can't even tell if he's even had plastic surgery.
I know. You
can't even tell if he even had colors his hair.
I saw him in American Made recently when I was on the flight, and once again I'm looking at him like, I mean, you could tell. Okay, yeah, he does look a little older than like his Top Gun days, obviously.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, it's like that dude ages so gracefully. I don't really know of that many people in Hollywood who are able to continue, keeping up their physical appearance the way he does
without, I mean, not looking like he got plastic surgery.
Well, and I don't even know if he's had plastic surgery.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you think about like Sylvester Stallone, dude's still like ripped, and
that dude has had a lot of plastic surgery.
But you can tell in his face he has. But I mean, the dude's totally. I mean, you can't build muscle from plastic. I mean, that's all gained by yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the one story that we do have regarding technology is something that we mentioned a little bit earlier in the program, which is the fact that SpaceX had a big launch where they launched, I believe, if I read it correctly, it was like the largest launch ever. And several notes of interest regarding this. One is that they actually had a Tesla car in the rocket ship.
Roadster, Russ.
Yeah. And like it was kind of fun. They had like this little dummy that was in an astronaut suit that was like sitting in the driver's seat and that sort of thing.
That was Elon's personal Tesla Roadster, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Steve. Now, what's interesting about it is that on the one hand, it's like, yeah, it's obviously a marketing ploy to like get more people to buy Teslas.
Of course, why not?
However, on the more engineering side of things, they wanted to have a certain type of weight that the rocket would have and then test to see how it would do, because the end game is to actually have rocket ships be able to commercially send people to Mars. And so they were thinking, okay, based on the dimensions of the spacecraft, what is that going to be like? How much weight do we need to have in order for that to actually work when you combine all the fuel and everything else? So they had these multiple tests going where, first of all, the booster rockets on the sides. Typically, in the past, when NASA would like launch a space shuttle into outer space, the booster rockets would then detach and then I guess just kind of fall back to the planet. I don't know if it had parachutes that they were able to just reclaim it, or honestly, I don't know like what their protocol is for that.
Yeah, they have some sort of controlled fall system so that they don't just create this thing and then it falls 200 miles an hour down some place on the planet, hoping not to kill anybody.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What's that?
I don't know if like they had some sort of protocol for like it like separating into multiple smaller pieces and it just gets burned up by the Earth's atmosphere, or if they have parachutes that like help it to go down. But anyway, the really cool thing about SpaceX is that they actually had them able to land. Like you watch in real time on these video cameras where like you see the boosters come down together and they actually land on like, there's like this one launch pad crosshair looking thing, target thing. And you see them, both boosters, after they've been detached, are able to guide themselves back down and exactly simultaneously land together right next to each other. You see like the landing feet kind of come out. That was super cool.
Yeah.
Just the precision of that whole thing was like really, really cool. Now, they did have I believe they had a failure with the main rocket coming back down because they were planning on having it land on another launch receiving pad that was out in the ocean. And I think it missed it. I think that they still have to do some work on that. However, the part that has the car is actually on its way over to Mars. Like they're doing some sort of trajectory test of some sort. I don't know all the details about it, but it was cool. It was cool to see this thing happen live, and it just, I don't know, like you and I were not born when NASA was in its heyday back when they were sending people up to the moon, and it was just much more of this huge spectacle of where you see like the space shuttle Challenger or whatever go up there. And so it's cool to see how like it's progressed from it being an exclusive NASA thing to now it's like in the hands of these tech giants like, Elon Musk, or even I think Bezos is starting to get in on it too. I think he's starting to do a program of sorts. So there is kind of a race going on. I know Virgin is also
Virgin's been doing it for a while.
Interested in that sort of thing as well.
Of course, Virgin's making like their hypertrain too.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of tinkering going on with just transport. It's a very interesting thing. So anyway, we haven't had a technology story in a little while, and I thought, man, what a great opportunity. Once again, like this week, we've had a lot of stuff that we want to cover.
They when they were testing the rocket, I think they were flying it around at nighttime around California, Sacramento area or something. Because I remember seeing the pictures of people going, what is that? And there was some like interesting kind of vapor trail that was around that kind of looked like an arrowhead.
I remember seeing a picture of that.
Yes, Rush.
It would have been nice to have seen that in person. We don't see a whole lot of that out here.
No, we don't. We see a whole lot of hail, though.
That is very true. All right, let's get on to the topic of the Dizzle. Our topic of the day is the Super Bowl ads. And Steve and I have always been a big fan of ads that run during the Super Bowl. It's one of the things we look forward to. Normally we hate commercials, but like all good, loyal Americans, we always look forward. It's like the one day in the entire calendar year where everybody actually looks forward to the commercials.
Actually, I do like commercials. I just like creative commercials. I don't mind watching commercials if they do what they're supposed to do, and a lot of them don't, Russ. A lot of them do not. Actually,
a lot of them are very annoying.
A lot of them are very annoying, and they speak to you as if you're stupid. That's why they're a little bit louder.
A lot of patronizing.
Yes, indeed. And that's also why the TVs, some TVs will actually turn up the volume, like the source level volume of the commercials. And so your show, when it comes back on, will be softer, but when the commercials come back on. And some TVs even actually like put features in them, so when the commercials come on, they'll like readjust themselves to play lower.
Oh,
but
sure.
I do love commercials altogether, but Super Bowl, I mean, they invest millions more.
Oh my goodness.
Since so many people are tuning in.
There was one commercial that did not get aired. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but there was a moment where like it was just black screen for like 30 seconds. I'm thinking, oh, someone is getting very upset right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be asking for their money back.
Yeah, that was spent, and that money. I mean, there's no dead time whatsoever. I mean, let alone any football game, but the Super Bowl, all eyes watching. Yeah, no. I couldn't believe that. Those commercials are about $5 million for 30 seconds.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, they always make a killing when it comes to that. So in terms of the overall batch of commercials this year, did you like it? Did you not like it?
I thought that they were a bit on the conservative side, which can be good. It can be not good. Usually, if you let go of the reins a bit, they have a little more freedom and they're more funny. But sometimes with too much rein, they end up being raunchy or saying the wrong message. So you have to gauge it in a way. There's
definitely a back and forth kind of tug of war with that each year.
Yeah. And yeah, when there was a back and forth, some people would go like, why did I do, I'm watching this with my kid. The kid's only 5 years old now, I'm watching him, And
Put a condom on a cucumber.
Exactly. Or, it's a bunch of, horses farting in people's faces. It's like come on,
Yeah.
But this was definitely very clean, and it was funny, but it was like chuckle funny.
Yeah.
Definitely not bad, but not as funny as I think they could be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they could have gone just a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Not by much, but just a little bit more like just trying to find a sweet spot that would make it great. But
speaking of the commercials and the trailers, they did have another Avengers trailer.
they did. I'm glad that you said that. I actually forgot to put that in the movie notes. I apologize.
But at the same time, Russ, I thought that trailer wasn't as exciting as the other trailers.
I got goosebumps when I saw the Avengers trailer just because I'm like super excited for that film. And the stuff that they did show, I was like, ooh.
But they didn't seem to show anything new. It was just kind of a rehashed version of what's already out.
Well, no, all those scenes were new. Like no one's seen any of that stuff.
Yeah, I felt like, I don't know. To me, it felt like I had already seen all that. And at first, when the trailer came on, I thought, ooh, Avengers, here we go, a whole new trailer, And I think they rushed it a bit. I didn't think it was nearly as good as the initial trailer.
It was a TV spot. I think when they actually have like the official trailer come out, you're going to see a whole lot more. But typically, especially the Super Bowl spots, they just blitzkrieg your eyeballs. And, you're half the time you're like, was that the Avengers? I don't know.
Was that Iron Man?
I think that was one of the coolest things about the commercials this year was just each one of the movie trailers that we saw were like great trailers, like for like just these movies that we're all very interested and excited about. I think that certainly helped lift the overall batch of commercials for this year's Super Bowl. I would say when it comes to my favorites, first and foremost, I think the Tide ad campaign hands down was the best.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Saying that, at first you're like, oh, man, the guy's from Stranger Things, which is totally cool. They chose him, by the way. He was perfect for it.
He totally sold it, too.
Yeah, he totally did. And I don't want to sound mean, but typically you would not think of him as being a celebrity to sell something.
Right.
But he was the perfect celebrity to be in there. He wasn't trying to, the way the commercial was scripted, he wasn't like he was trying to sell his celebrity status for the product, Right. He was just being himself, and I don't know. It was just a very lighthearted, funny, creative, clean commercial, and it said
it was clever.
It was clever, and plus it stuck in your mind too, which is the main point of the commercial. Is if you keep on hearing Tide Pod, you're gonna think when you're in the store and you need some detergent or whatever, you can think Tide.
Yeah.
So it did its job, and
it
both
totally
regards.
did its job. And what's fun too is like just the approach that they did, where they recreated so many of the trending styles for commercials these days, and how like they set it up in such a way where you're expecting it to be, I don't know, like a beer commercial or whatever it is, and then he pops in and just kind of like not ruins it, but just goes, oh, Tide ad, and like he points and everything, and just it's amazing how they were able to penetrate a huge variety of different commercials that we were used to seeing as a result of the actors in those commercials that are wearing very clean, brightly colored
neon,
outfits and stuff, and how it's like, that's Tide, Tide ad.
Yeah.
And in fact, even when I got back to work, everyone is walking around and they're just saying Tide ad.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing. And like, what we were talking about, it's a clean commercial. There was nothing offensive about it or anything. I mean, it was just, all in all, just great. And they started out with like the one big kind of montage of different commercials they were making fun of. But then like throughout the Super Bowl, there would be a commercial that you'd swear would be for something else. And then he'd pop his head back in and go, oh, Tide ad.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
I think the close second would have to be the Doritos.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not so much that it was a great ad, but just the fact that it stuck out in your mind. I mean, I had to think about, was it Cheetos or Doritos? But I'm seeing that the actor going, how many rapping that? And my eyes are glued to the screen at a New Year's Word too, and I could not deviate any. Like I couldn't like get a drink or anything.
Hypnotized by
I was glued. So in a way, I mean, the commercial did its job there. I mean, because you couldn't look at anything else. You're
absolutely
this guy's face like right in front of the TV screen.
It's like one of those like crazy ideas that someone has at like the concept ideation table. We're like, I got this great idea. We take Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And he channels Busta Rhymes throughout the whole thing. And it's just everything is on fire. Like everything's catching fire. And that's it because it's spicy. And like just that simple idea, it just works. I mean, just to your point, I mean, I was totally just like my eyeballs are glued to the screen the whole time. I will say, I think the Morgan Freeman bit of it was weaker. It didn't like just grab me by the collar and not let go. Like it was much more like, oh, it's Morgan Freeman. And oh, okay. It's kind of, he's got Missy Elliott's voice and stuff. And it's like, okay. But yeah, the first part of that, man, I was just absolutely just mesmerized by what was going on. But I mean, I think that's part of the talent of Busta Rhymes' music anyway. Like all of his songs, the way he raps, I mean, you just get sucked in. So another commercial I thought was interesting was I believe it was the Dodge Ram truck commercial, but they had a segment from Martin Luther King, if you recall. He was
oh right, yeah.
It wasn't the I Have a Dream speech; it was a different one. I was conflicted because on the one hand, I've never heard that particular speech from Martin Luther King, so I was very tuned in. I was very interested to hear it. And I mean, what a great speaker.
Oh, of course.
However, I felt conflicted because they were using it to sell trucks. And I'm like, that's kind of cheapening like who Dr. Martin Luther King was.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but
I think, well, I thought the ad was, you had to watch, you had to take it for what it was at the time, because afterwards I didn't even think about the Dodge ad, to be honest. I remember it once you've said it, but if you were looking at the TV at that point and, the commotion from everybody's rowdiness and, drinking beers and, eating chips and dip and guac, and you pay attention, you're like, wow, that was very passionate. That was very good commercial. And then the rest of the commercials would have come on, and including the last one with the Doritos, and then the Dodge one would have been, right out of your mind. And I think that many of the ads were doing that. One ad I didn't see, maybe they showed it before, or when I stepped away, was there's typically a Budweiser ad with the Clydesdales.
yes.
I didn't see that ad.
I don't think they really had one. I know that there was an advertisement for the Voice show.
Right.
And in there they had a Clydesdale.
Right.
But yeah, no, they didn't have, now that I think about it, I don't really recall there being as much of an aggressive presence for Budweiser. Like they had like the Bud Night.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I didn't think was that good.
That was so. It kind of, I saw that before the Super Bowl. It's kind of lame. Like, why would you bring it out? It's a Super Bowl ad. Why would you bring it up before the Super Bowl?
But even the ad itself, I'm like,
yeah, it was a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely pointing towards mobile strategy games. And, fine, it is what it is.
I did think it was fun for that one company that brings in avocados from Mexico. That was a fun one where they're in that little bubble and everything is like all good to go. But then the people realize that the chips are on the outside of the bubble, and so all chaos ensues, and there's nothing but anarchy in there. And that was a fun one.
I think that was okay, but the Wi-Fi bit at the end would really set it off.
Yeah,
because I mean that's where the real pandemonium would come in. I was thinking one segment that was absent from this Super Bowl that was pretty prevalent in the Super Bowl before was any kind of new car commercial.
They had certain car commercials, but you could tell that there wasn't the same level of budget allocated for what we've seen in the past. In the past, I mean, you see like a half dozen truck commercials at least. Each one's trying to out-tough the last one. You know what I mean?
I remember I think it was either maybe it wasn't last year, maybe it was the year before, but Nissan had a commercial that was out. It reminded me a lot of you, actually, because it showed this young father the stages of fatherhood, like, you get married and everything's great, money troubles and you have a kid. And so he's going back and forth, and dad's a race car driver, of course. And so he's driving all these different Nissans throughout his life. And then, he's old and his kid's growing up. But you see him driving the Skyline and the Skyline G. I mean, the commercial is so well done. Gives me goosebumps thinking about it. And then you see the Maximus at the very end when he's picking up his kid from college. So anyway.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, no, incredible commercial. But
are there any other commercials from this past Super Bowl that caught your attention?
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of them were too lighthearted to remember, not bold enough. And so I don't remember a whole lot. I mean, I remember Keanu Reeves, and I thought, whoa, Keanu. I mean, Keanu Reeves in a commercial. I don't usually see him in a commercial, and he's just acting like Keanu, But then I think it was like the Squarespace or something like that, and I don't, I mean, okay,
yeah.
Beyond that, there was they showed the Crocodile Dundee Tourist Australia.
That was okay.
Clip. They showed it so often that I remembered it, but and in a way, it kind of cheapened the movie because of that. So
yeah. Yeah, I am curious to see that movie because I think it has potential to be pretty funny. But yeah, I feel like they showed that commercial a little too much because it just kind of, there it is again kind of thing. They had the Eminem commercial with Danny DeVito. That one was, it was okay. It was just kind of predictable, I felt like.
Same with the Skittles.
Yeah, the Skittles one was like your standard Super Bowl style commercial. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah.
There were.
I mean, there was a lot more. It just wasn't memorable,
Yeah, again, I think the Tie Dad definitely did it. The Doritos was good. The movie trailers, like I said, those were all great to watch. So,
oh, you know what? There was the Jack in the Box ad.
Oh, that was. Oh no, my gosh.
Jack in the Box usually just hits it out of the park every single time. So it was him and was that Martha Stewart? Yeah, that was pretty good. And she rips off his nose accidentally. That was pretty funny.
That was really good. Okay, honorable mention to Jack in the Box because that was really good. That was really good. I would say Tie Dad, Doritos, and then right underneath that is Jack in the Box for the top three.
Right.
There may be other ones that we're just not thinking of, but honestly, I'm.
Oh, you know what else? Speaking of beers, they had what was that Chris Pratt commercial with the
Michelob?
Yeah, it was right. That one was okay.
It was all right.
It was all right.
Yeah.
And then you had the Jeep commercial with
Jeff Goldblum.
Hi, I'm Jeff Goldblum. Yes, of course, and I'm going to drive the Jeep.
Clearly a 1-2 punch for both Jeep Cherokee as well as the upcoming Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah. Then you had the Wendy's commercial kind of ripping on McDonald's, but that was...
that one went by too quickly. Like you had to really study it in order to not understand what's going on. But if you actually read it, then it was like, whoa, they kind of burned McDonald's there pretty badly.
Charred them. Char-broiled.
Oh. Well, I do believe... that about wraps it up for this particular episode. Be sure to check out patreon.com/joygasm and subscribe to get the most out of the show. Also, you can follow us on social media and YouTube. Just do a search for Joygasm TV. In addition to iTunes and Android, you can listen to our podcast on TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and soundcloud.com/Joygasm TV. Last but certainly not least, search Joygasm TV on Twitch to see us stream our gaming adventures live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And most of the time we are playing Overwatch, but we will play other games as well. And it's always fun. And plus, Steve and I always get giddy whenever we get the opportunity to say hello to some of you lovely listeners out there. So,
and don't forget to mention us too, our in the chat portion. We want to see you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Indeed.
Well, until next time, everybody, happy gaming. Au revoir.